This is a homage beat.
Alcohol is worse than marijuana.
Right.
What are
Right.
your thoughts on that? I know that's
Yeah.
a hot button topic. Especially people in the church. They don't never want to talk about no marijuana.
Right.
You
Right.
know, but
So
what
do
are
I
your
think that?
thoughts?
So do I think that marijuana should be legalized?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right, what are your thoughts about the conversation? You don't have to necessarily
Yeah.
give where you land
You know
or
what?
fall,
I
but
think
just looking at it objectively.
I think that I am indifferent.
Okay.
And I say that because, I, on my biological father's side, a lot of his family have cataracts. I have glasses. I have an astigmatism in both of my eyes. My mother's side of the family as well. And so when it comes to marijuana and it being legalized, I definitely see, again, the medicinal reasons.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem with that is, our world is so broken that someone could even take that and abuse it. And so I think for me, I'm just indifferent to it, because I'm like, then the other part of me, I'm no scientist or, pharmacist, but the other side of me is, can we not come up with something else? That can be medicinal other than marijuana, to help those medicinal reasons. But again, I'm no, pharmacist person. But for me, I think that our world is so broken that whether it's legalized or whether it's not, people are still going to abuse it. So.
No, and I think that's a great point because I say in regards to the legalization of marijuana, one overlooks a key point. The debate isn't whether it should be legalized or not, but why does one need it in the first place?
Yeah.
That's the real question.
Yeah.
Why does one need it in the first place? One may need it for medicinal, as we've spoken of, or recreational purposes. I say neither reason, is wrong per se, but one needs to take a closer look at the recreational uses of drugs. Honestly, people primarily smoke cigarettes and drink alcohol for recreational purposes. Therefore, one cannot look down on one who wants to use marijuana recreationally, especially if it's legal.
Right.
However, I ask this question, why do humans need to have a source of recreation? And before we even get there, I wanted to get a little personal.
Yeah.
Have you ever partaken in any of these recreational drugs? I'll speak for myself first.
Yeah.
I've never, and it's weird. It's not that I'm against alcohol or against smoking. Smoking, I'm more against that because it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Cigarettes, or even weed. I've never had an opportunity to smoke. Not that I would or anything like that. I don't know. I feel like I would puff and I'd start choking and I wouldn't look cool. Because I think a big part of like smoking weed, you just gotta look cool, especially when you got the smoke coming out. So I don't think I would be cool at it.
Yeah.
So I never had the opportunity, but I wouldn't look down, especially like in the states of California, I think Colorado where it's legal. I wouldn't look down on someone who would do it. Even because I think I have a more liberal stance on it because I think most people, especially church people, would be like, marijuana is wrong, absolutely wrong. And it's like, well, I'm pretty sure you drink or have drunk.
Yeah.
But again, I take a little bit of a different view on it because, like I said, I understand the recreational purpose for it in moderation.
Yeah.
I think cigarettes is a different beast because that's just gonna kill you.
Yeah.
People who drink alcohol especially, because I think even scientifically, a glass of wine is actually kind of helpful or something like that. I don't know where I heard that from. I might be making it up. But yeah, and then you always have the infamous, did Jesus turn the water into grape juice or wine? It was wine.
Right.
They drunk wine back then.
Right.
And so I'm not against it per se, but I've never drunk and I always like ask people, and I don't want to put this person on blast, but a relative of mine, they had turned 21 and they had partaken. And I was like, what did you have? She's like, a Corona. I was like, that's an old person drink.
Right.
A Corona. And she was like, it didn't really taste that good. And I come from a family of drinkers too. Like, when I think about it, like, it's always funny. Like, my grandfather, every time I see him, he always asks me if I want to have something to drink.
Yeah.
And it's like, me knowing my brother drink, But he always asks us if we want to. And my grandfather, like, a real drinker got the good liquor tucked to the side, and when he got people over, he break out that good liquor. So it's not like I didn't grow up, and I think even now my parents, sorry, put y'all on blast, they have some alcohol in the house. I'm out of the house now. I think there was a point in time where they didn't, but they had alcohol in the house. So I'm not like against alcohol, or if someone's smoking and be like, you smoking. I'm smoking. I'm very, for me personally, I would never do it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say I would, because me and my Lena, we had our honeymoon and we were debating on drinking. So we were like, I don't know. We just did it. Because when you look at the prices, and it's like,
it's expensive. Yeah.
And then me, like, again, image is so huge because I'm the type of dude, I like stuff that's fruity. But fruity drinks is like for girls.
Right.
So I'm like, I feel weird drinking like a fruity drink or something like that. So yeah, I never engaged. And like I said, especially with the weed, I never had somebody, because then you gotta roll in. Then you'll never know what somebody put in the weed. Yep. You be smoking something and you be on the moon.
Start seeing stuff.
Yeah. So I ain't messing with none of that. But to you.
Yeah.
Indulged.
Right. So I had, 2 negative experiences, specifically with alcohol. And I always share this with women as a part of my testimony and God's redemption in me. When I was in high school, my mom, used to, she would keep, wine and, alcohol in the home. And, as I've shared before in certain spaces, I was bullied significantly when I was in high school and in middle school. So much so that I thought about taking my life. And so in that way, I used alcohol to cope with depression. And so I actually went to school one day drunk. I got a water bottle and I filled it with vodka, and I got on the school bus and I drank the whole thing. It was my first time having alcohol because I wanted to suppress. Again, watching my mother have a bad day and seeing alcohol. So I felt like, well, it's my turn, right? It's my turn, I was depressed. I felt like no one didn't like me. I didn't have any friends. I'm like, God, why am I living? And so I was drunk. I was ridiculed in front of hundreds. I was very active in high school. I was embarrassed. I was suspended from school. I had to go see a therapist because they thought I was, flat out crazy. And I was in the hospital for that. And so that was the first time that I had alcohol. That was my sophomore year in high school. I did not engage in any other substances for the remainder of my high school experience. When I went to undergrad, I am a part of a sorority, and so there was an experience, long story short, where we were on the way to the club. I have not always been saved. We were on our way to the club, and my mom has a degree in criminal justice, and so she taught me at a very young age about undercover cops and all of that type of stuff. And so there was a situation where my friends and I were drinking underage in the car, and an undercover cop pulled us over, and I got a charge for that.
You got a mugshot?
No, I didn't go to jail or anything. No, it was just a citation.
Okay.
It was like possession of a malt beverage or something like that. And I remember feeling like, dang. This is my first time drinking again. I haven't had, alcohol in years, and this is what it got me. And again, I was embarrassed. I had to go to therapy because I felt like I was reliving that high school experience all over again. And so, of course, I was able to get it expunged off my record and all that stuff, and my mom had to pay thousands of dollars and, all that stuff. So that was an experience. And moving forward, I did not drink again until I think my junior and senior year. And so at that point in time, because I had went to therapy and I had professional help, not that I was, addicted to alcohol, but it was my heart behind it. It was, again, that feeling of, I want to be accepted by these people. What if I don't drink? What if they don't like me? I'm in college. Like, I'm going to be like the churchy girl that people already think I am. I was the friend, we went to the club on Saturday, and I drug all my friends to church Sunday morning. That's just who I was. And so when it comes to substances, now, I do enjoy wine. I do enjoy having a glass of wine, maybe once a week. I particularly enjoy it with Italian food. I just like how it tastes. But again, it's the heart behind it. I do not indulge in alcohol if I'm sad, if I'm, having a moment, if I've had a bad day, because then you become, again, suppressing, your feelings. I've never smoked weed, never done any other substance. I have tried to smoke a Black and Mild at one time, and my stomach started burning. So I did not do that again. But my primary reason for not smoking cigarettes was because of my late grandmother. I grew up in a home where she smoked cigarettes, and because of that, she had breast cancer and she died. So for me, cigarettes was not so much of a choice. It was from a personal experience. I lost a loved one behind that. And so now, I do, if we do go on vacation, we might get a free drink. Jamel is holy, so he does not engage in, I'm just joking. But, if we do go out, we might have a fruity drink or something like that. But, so yeah, those are my personal experiences. And again, I think it's your heart behind it, because a lot of people say, well, oh, I don't drink or I don't smoke because of self-righteousness, because they want to seem self-righteous. But I think it really takes a strong person to say, you know what, I do drink wine. And, you just have to have the heart behind it.
Nah, that's cool. Yeah. So, for those who are listening, Jamel is also in the building. I wish you could have seen this dude's face. Like he was about to jump out of his chair. But no, you make some really good points, and I wanted to clarify that as well. Like, cause especially, and that's the thing too, because I've got a biblical studies degree. I'm in seminary, and so you get this stigma. And like I said, I don't want to be a pastor. I don't mind preaching and stuff. But that stigma comes on you, especially, denominational. Like, I know Baptists are really, don't know alcohol and this, that, and the third. That's not me at all.
Right.
In the least, because I think you hit it right on the head. It's the heart.
Yes.
Where Scripture talks about not being drunk.
Yes.
Not being controlled by something else.
Yeah.
And having it in moderation, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
No.
But if you choose not to partake, that's fine. But if you do, it's that whole principle of the weaker and stronger brother type deal. And just seeing what you've said, which was some serious things that you had to deal with. And you could have easily gone to the extreme and said, alcohol is bad, alcohol is bad. And I think if I heard correctly, you just talked about you got professional help. And just trying to drop hints, So I'm listening. I hear you, but so you had someone to work with you through that to see that the alcohol wasn't the issue. It was the mind state that you had. And now that you can partake in a responsible and healthy manner. And so I think that's just a great balance of seeing how I abused it. And now I'm not abusing it. If I do have a moment, I'm not going to turn to this alcohol to kind of cope or soothe me. So I think that's great. Because like I said, I didn't know your experience with the alcohol. So it was great. Thank you so much for sharing it. Because now, like you said, you can use it as an opportunity to teach someone else.
Oh, absolutely. All the time. I tell my students, I don't share into that detail. No. But I do tell them, like, I've been there, Exactly. But I think, again, like you said, it's when you go seek professional help, it's not the alcohol that they're treating. It's the heart. You know what I mean? And I think that, for me, I had to, essentially hit rock bottom to the point where I was almost arrested. Thank God I was not